President. We acknowledge Albania's engagement in the UPR process and its commitment to improving labor rights and gender equality. We welcome Albania's acceptance of the recommendations on the need to reinforce measures for the enhancement of the enjoyment of the right to work and to just and favorable conditions of work. Despite policy progress in Albania, rural women still face major challenges. Labor rights violations persist and systematic barriers such as limited childcare, vocational training, transport, and entrenched gender norms hinder their employment and economic security. Although the government adopted the National Strategy for Employment and Skills 2023-2030, rural women remain largely excluded from the workforce and at risk of poverty. Despite commitments to gender equality, rural women in Albania receive minimal support. Social protection often misses those most in need, and access to legal aid, protection from violence, and financial resources remain limited. Many face economic hardship without meaningful government intervention, despite claims to inclusive progress. We call on Albania to take concrete steps to support rural women, uphold fair labor conditions, and ensure equal economic opportunities. Labor rights must be more than policy, they must be a reality for all workers. This requires enforcing labor laws, guaranteeing fair wages and safe working conditions, expanding childcare infrastructures near workplaces, rural roads and transportation coverage, and investing in women's vocational training. True economic empowerment means providing women with real pathways to stability and dignity in the workforce. Thank you.